Defense attorney Jeremiah Donovan is under fire for defying a judge's gag order in the Cheshire murder trial in New Haven. Here now is REESE Norris, prominent Hartford area defense attorney. This trial, we had you on a couple weeks back. You said in your 38 years that you've never seen a trial as horrific as this, with all the details coming out, and then there was more to come after that.
There's more to come, and this new development is really unique.
So what is Jeremiah Donovan thinking now? He's not really part of this trial per se. He's the defense attorney for Joshua Karmasowski. I'm going to butcher his name, but he comes in and the judge says, listen, we're not going to talk about this trial. I have a gag order. Donovan comes in and actually does talk about it, makes some comments in response to what he saw at trial. Let's take a look. It's very graphic, folks, for those of you tuning in Sunday morning, very graphic. Let's take a look at Donovan's comments and then why this is very problematic for him.
I know this is probably small solace, but it's just something that I felt that I had to say.
Okay, well, I hope we have more than that. Mike, we have more than that? That's all we have right now. Okay, well, he got into the graphic details of basically the young girl allegedly being sodomized by Stephen Hayes, and he went on to counter that, Donovan, saying that his client didn't sodomize her, and he wanted to set the record straight, although the judges said, listen, I don't want you talking. So now he's going to court on Wednesday, Donovan, to talk to the judge to find out why the judge should not have a hearing to send him to prison for violating a gag order. Your thoughts on this?
Well, this is an extraordinary thing. It's an order to show cause, and Judge Fasano's referred to this as a flagrant violation of the gag order. And if he is adjudicated in criminal contempt, he can be sent to jail immediately for as much as 6 months. So this is no minor matter.
But there has to be a method behind his madness. One of the top defense attorneys here in the region. Why would he do it?
That's a good question. I mean, I've been asking myself, why would you knowingly and willfully violate a court order on the courthouse steps? I mean, this was a press conference.
Brazen, right?
Yes, on the courthouse steps. We don't see lawyers usually subjected to criminal contempt. All the defendants I've seen held in criminal contempt have 100% of them gone to jail, and mostly for 6 months because they do something in the courtroom itself. But this is on the court steps, and this is not only impacting potentially the cases on trial, but most certainly the potential jury pool for the next case.
What if Donovan says to the judge, listen, judge, what happened in the trial here was so egregious, the information was so bad, I had to correct it. I had to err on the side of caution to protect my client. First Amendment rights, I have the right to protect my client, and what happened there at trial and made it to the public was so bad, I felt compelled to have to do it.
I don't think that's a defense. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Jerry Donovan. He's a very skilled lawyer and a very smart person. But if he felt that way, he could have filed a motion to ask the court to revisit the gag order and spell out in the motion the reason for that. That would not have been an extrajudicial comment. That wouldn't have violated any order. And I think he could have achieved that if that was his goal. But to go out there and knowingly violate a court order is something which I just can't understand.
And the problem now for the judge is that if he lets him off the hook, then you basically set precedent with every other attorney you put a gag order on, where they can say, well, I'll just claim whatever Donovan claims, right? And so you're saying you'll be very surprised if he does not go to jail.
I will be surprised because the practice book, which governs a lot of this, says that the punishment is designed to vindicate the court's authority. We're talking about an affront to the dignity and authority of the court. I think every judge should take that seriously, and the question is a $500 fine an actual punishment to an attorney in this situation? This is not like you're charged and you have a presumption of innocence. There's been an order to show cause. He has to show why he should not be held in contempt of court.
And is there a case to make here that he was being insensitive to the family by going on the steps and mentioning so the graphic nature that it was a further hit to the family psyche, having to endure all this during trial, to have a lawyer come out and point out this particular part of the trial?
Well, it may be insensitive, but that really has nothing to do with the order to show cause. The order to show cause is a claim that there's been a flagrant violation of a court order. It's something that every lawyer should take seriously.
Wow, so it could become very severe, dire consequences for him. Let's talk about the trial again now. What they're doing now, they're going to pit Hayes against his partner. That's what's happening here, right? We tape Wednesday, we're on Sunday. So how does this shake out? You're one of the more prominent defense attorneys. How do you do this where you have two players here and one side saying he was the bad guy, the other side saying he's the bad guy? How do you work this?
Seems to be the theory of the defense in this case, and is perhaps the only theory they can put forth, given these horrific facts, is to try to say that there's no specific evidence. I mean, the cops weren't in the house at the time that the crimes were committed, and so you don't have any proof beyond a reasonable doubt as to who actually did what particular act.
Although one lawyer already concedes, Hayes' attorney, that his client did kill the mother and assault her, and sexually assault her, which is extraordinary. So, I asked the question before, why are we here? It seems to me the death penalty is driving us, I understand that, but it just seemed like, why couldn't they just cut a deal, send these guys away without any chance of coming out, and why go through this whole dance where we know in Connecticut a death penalty takes 20 years or more to enact, if that?
Well, I'm sure the Pettit family's attitude had a lot to do with what resolution would be on the table. And Mike Darrington, he's a very, very accomplished prosecutor, and he may have felt that this case called for him to pursue the harshest penalty that could be pursued in our system. So
next week, what's your prediction? What will be the most compelling thing we see next week as far as strategy?
Well, it'll be interesting. We have a charging conference, and then we're going to have the summations, and it'll be interesting to see how the defense lawyers appeal to the jurors in that summation. You have to be very careful. I mean, you have to be sensitive here, and it's a fine line they're walking.
But the gag order hearing will be sort of the elephant in the room. What happens there?
I think it is.
Right?
We lawyers don't like to be the story.
Yeah.
I mean, we represent people, and unfortunately now
he's the story.
He's the story.
All right, he's Reese Norris, folks. When we come back, we'll talk to Hartford Courant's Donna Morey, who will tell us whether the Yankees have enough left to take their 28th World Championship. You are watching the Stan Simpson Show. Don't go away.